Miss Sailing here with your math lesson today on time. We are in topic 13 and we are learning about the different ways to tell time. We've been working on telling time to the hour on a digital clock and an analog clock. And today we are going to add telling time to the half hour. So, your I can statement today is, I can tell time to the half hour. So hopefully you did the first lesson, 13.1. If you haven't, please go do that first because I have you make a clock in that lesson and you're going to need your clock. So if you haven't done 13.1, please do that and then you can come back and do the other ones. But let's get started for today. So we need to warm up our brains and get them thinking about math. So I'm going to do our 10 more, 10 less, 1 more, 1 less. Now, we did this in the classroom a while back when you had your hundreds grid. I know this hundreds grid looks a little different than the one we used in our classroom, but if you have one of these at home, awesome, use it. If you don't, maybe make one because we're going to be using them. Not a ton, but if you have some extra spare time and you want to make a hundreds chart, it will help you. Otherwise, you can pause this and make your cross, okay? Your 32 in the middle because that's your number. And then 1 less, 1 more than 32, 10 less, 10 more. Okay? So you can make that. Then you can pause this, okay, and use this chart. You can pause it on your screen and use your finger, okay. You can find 32, and we talked about making it like a T, okay, tracing the outline just like it is that on the whiteboard I just showed you, okay. You make it on your grid, and now you're ready to solve. So think about, what is 1 more than 32? Which direction are you going to go in your number grid? What is 1 less? What is 10 less? What do? Slide up or slide down, and what is 10 more? So that is your warm-up for today. Once you have done that, check it with an adult. Make sure that you are correct, and then you can come back for the rest of our lesson. So, I'm going to talk to you a second while I make my digital clock and my analog clock. We have been talking about time. We've been talking about telling time to the hour, okay? When we are telling time to the hour, we are always saying that it is, okay, the hour comes first. Okay, like right now, it's past 11, but if it was 11, we would say 11 o'clock. So, when you are doing a digital clock, where you write the numbers and then you have your colon, what is o'clock? What stands for o'clock? What are you going to fill in there? Okay, there's no minutes, it's just o'clock. So, thinking about this, I'll pull this up since I'm making it. Here's our digital clock, and we said it's 11 o'clock. Okay, you have your hour. What are you going to put for the minutes? If it's o'clock, it's always going to be 00. O'clock, 00. Okay. If you are looking at your analog clock that I just finished making, okay? Remember, you do the hour first. And if we look over here at our hands, okay, the hour hand, remember we talked about the hint I said? Hour is the shorter word. It only has 4 letters in it, okay? The minute hand has 6, therefore it's the longer hand. So you're going to start the hour is 11. You're going to draw your hour hand pointing to the 11, and then o'clock, it's always going to be pointing to the 12 when it's o'clock. on the hour. Okay, no minutes have gone by yet. So that's just a quick little review about o'clock. Today we are going to tell time to the half hour. So what I would like you to do right now is you can either make sure you have your clock ready, and if you would like to get your slate or your whiteboard, or I saw something that's been creative. Some of you are obviously ask a parent first, but some of you are using whiteboard markers on your window because it wipes right off. So if you don't have a slate, but you have an exposed window, as long as you have a dry erase marker, it will work on your window, and then you can wipe it off as well. Ask first. Don't just assume that you are allowed to do that. Okay, so make sure you have your materials ready to go. Like I said, you can, even on paper or your whiteboard, you can do your digital clock and analog clock. And you're ready to go. I would like to first watch a brain pop video on telling time to the half hour. Now, you can either pause it and go to your own account and watch it, because then they have the quiz after that you can take, or I'm going to show it to you here and you can watch it on this video. Now, it's telling time to the quarter and half hour. Okay, quarter and half hour. I really want you to focus on just the half hour. I'm going to let it play the entire thing because I think it's important that you know how to tell time to the quarter hour as well, especially those of you who are already used to telling time to the half hour. Then this is kind of a challenge for you, and now you can learn how to tell time to the quarter hour as well. But remember, our I can statement today is all about telling time to the half hour. So don't forget that. And here we go.
Cool. It's field day. How can you tell time to the half hour? There's a lot of fun stuff planned today. What time is it, Moby? When you split something in half, you divide it into 2 equal parts. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Since half of 60 is 30, there are 30 minutes in a half hour. So, when the minute hand is on the 6, it's 30 minutes past the hour. Let's see. What time is it now? First, look at the hour hand, which is halfway between the 8 and 9. That means it's halfway between 8 and 9 o'clock. Then look at the minute hand, which is pointing to the 6. So, it's 30 minutes past 8, or 8:30. You can write the time using numbers and a colon. What time is the 3-legged race? The hour hand is between the 9 and 10, so it's halfway between 9 and 10 o'clock. The minute hand is pointing to the 6, so it's 30 minutes past the hour. The race is at 9:30. What time is lunch? 12:30. You can also say 12:30 because it's a half hour past 12 o'clock. I can't wait for the sack race. That's at 10:15. How can you tell time to the quarter hour? When you split something into quarters, you divide it into 4 equal parts. $1 is equal to 4 quarters. An hour can be split into 4 quarter hours. Since 1 hour has 60 minutes, each quarter of an hour is equal to 15 minutes. When the minute hand points to the 3, it's 15 minutes past the hour. What time does the sack race begin? The hour hand is just a little past the 10. The minute hand is pointing to the 3, which is a quarter past the hour. The sack race begins at 10:15. That's a quarter past 10 o'clock. What time is the jump rope contest? It's at 2:15. Remember, 2 quarters make a half. So when the minute hand is on the 6, it's 2 quarters past the hour. It's half past the hour, or 30 minutes past the hour. What time is the egg race? It's at 11:30, or half past 11. When the minute hand points to the 9, it's 3 quarters past the hour, or 45 minutes past the hour. What time is the water balloon toss? The hour hand is between the 2 and 3, but it's a lot closer to the 3. So, you know the time is close to 3 o'clock. The minute hand is pointing to the 9, which is 45 minutes past the hour. So, the water balloon toss starts at 2:45. We can also say a quarter to 3. Well, we don't say 3 quarters past 2. It's a lot easier to say that it's a quarter to the next hour. What time are we doing arts and crafts? The hour hand is between the 1 and 2, but it's closer to the 2. The minute hand is on the 9. Arts and crafts begin at 1:45, or a quarter to 2 o'clock. It's 8:30 now. The hula hoop contest starts at 8:45. That's 15 minutes from now. I can't wait.
All right, so that is our brain pop video on telling time to the half hour, but also the quarter hour, like I said. For those of you that want to challenge yourself, you have that extension as well. Now, let's get into our practice for today. So, you can use your clocks, your ones that you made, but you can also use the ones that you drew as well. So like they said, telling time to the half hour. Think of the clock face of an analog clock like a pizza pie. And if you were to split it, okay, in half, straight down the middle, okay, that is your half of the amount of time, okay, to get around the clock. Like they said, the video said it's 60 minutes in an hour. Halfway around the clock is 6. And if this is 0, 0, I'm going to put that up here. Okay, if we count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Because each number stands for an increment of 5 minutes. Okay, half past is always going to be 30. Always. Just like o'clock is always going to be the colon and 0, 0. Okay, if you're talking about the half hour, it's always going to be the colon and 30. Okay, because 30 is half of 60, which is 60 minutes to get all the way around. Like the video said, Brain Pop said, another way to tell the time to the half hour is also saying half past. So, we need to talk about our hands now. If I were to say that the time is, let's do 2:30. At the time we get ready to go to special. 2:30. Okay? Well, the hour is 2, and the minutes is 30. When you draw your hour hand, because it's important to draw first, if it's half past, you are going to go, because you're looking at 2 and you're looking at 3. Okay, it's not quite 3 o'clock yet. It's still 2, but you need to go halfway between the 2 and the 3. It's not directly on the 2 anymore because that hour hand has to move to get closer and closer to 3 o'clock. So your hour hand is going to be between the 2 and the 3. And if it's 30, okay, half past 2, your minute hand is always going to be on the 6 if it's 30 or half past to the half hour. Okay, so that is 2:30 or half past, and then look at the hour 2. Okay, so that is what we're going to be doing today. If you were to do, and then to writing it, I should have wrote it in the digital spot. It's the same thing, okay? 2:30. That's telling time to the half hour, or half past 2. If you were to use your clock that you made, oh, there it is. Lost my hour. Okay, like we said, 2:30. Little guy. I'm just having all kinds of troubles with my clock. It's not wanting to cooperate. Okay, so if you are doing this with me, see, while I'm getting my minute hand and my hour hand on my clock again, see if you can make your clock say 2:30. And once I get it on, there. Okay, so my minute hand and my hour hand. There we go. Okay, so my hour hand is between the 2 and the 3. If I were to draw a line straight out, it'd be between it. And my minute hand, because it's 2:30, okay, would be on the 6. Now, if you want to help you on your clock, you can, I don't have a Sharpie, but I can do this. You can do, I'll show you right now. Okay, so on my clock, I drew a little colon, then 00 to remind me o'clock. And on the 6, I did a colon, and then the 30 to know that that's half past or telling time to the half hour. All right, so that is your lesson for today. Hopefully you are following along and doing it with me. Your practice now, okay, is, I'm going to turn the page out of your math book. Here you go, so you can pause it. So, number 3, they are showing you the time on the analog clock. Okay, think about it. Find the hour. It's between the 9 and the 8, so it's not quite 8. It's still 9, and then, oh, the minute hand is on the 6, and we know that that means 30, half past. So it is 9:30. They want you to write that time there. So you would write in or on your piece of paper, or if you're doing it on a window, or you're doing it on your slate. Okay, sorry, misspoke. It is 8:30. It's not quite to the 9 yet. I was looking at it backwards. So the hour hand, if you see it, okay, it's not quite to the 9 yet. So it's not 9. It's still 8. Between the 8 and the 9, so it is 8:30. Made a mistake. Okay, 8:30. You can go ahead and do 4 and 5. Again, you're looking at the clock, and then you're going to write it what the time is. Okay, so you can also go up to a parent and tell them that we have been practicing telling time to the hour and now the half hour, and you can have them give you a time. Maybe they'll say 7:30, and then you can, if you want to, you can make 7:30 on your clock. You can also draw the hands if you have a clock and write it down. All of that is great practice, okay? And then check it, 7:30. All right, now 12:30. Okay, maybe they throw in an old clock in there. It's 5 o'clock, and see if you can go back and forth between that. So that is your math lesson for today, telling time to the half hour. We will do more practice on it tomorrow. But have fun with your clocks, telling time to the half hour. And then if you want to throw in that extra challenge, you can do a quarter. Okay, a quarter to 6. What does that mean? It's tricky. It's a challenge. So if you're not comfortable doing half past yet or to the half hour, 4:30, 5:30, please don't go on to the quarter of an hour. Get comfortable doing to the hour and to the half hour first, since that is your I can statement. So I will be back with your STEM challenge in a little bit. Make sure you are getting outside and playing. And don't forget about Mrs. Tennyson's art lesson that she gave you today as well. All right,